They thought they could bury me. They thought the weight of their lies, their betrayals, their cowardice would crush me into nothing more than dust, a memory scattered by the winds of time. Oh, how wrong they were. Every insult, every stab in the back, every cruel laugh as they turned away from my ruin. It wasn't enough. It never would be. Because what they failed to understand was this: some things aren't meant to die. Some wounds don't heal, they fester. And some fires don't go out. They burn brighter, hotter, fueled by the very hatred they tried to drown me in. Do you hear that? That low rumble in the distance? That's the sound of my return. Not a whisper, not a shadow, not anymore. This isn't a man walking toward you now. No, this is something else. Something forged in the abyss they threw me into. Each step I take echoes louder, heavier, until even the ground beneath your feet trembles. You feel it, don't you? That cold sweat trickling down your spine, that tightening in your chest, that voice inside your head screaming at you to run. But where? There's nowhere left to hide. Not now, not ever again. You wanted to break me, to silence me, to erase me so completely that no trace of who I once was would remain. But what you didn't realize, what you couldn't realize, is that breaking me only made me stronger. Stripping me of everything only taught me how to survive without anything. Pain became my teacher. Betrayal became my forge. And now here I stand, not as the man you spat on, not as the figure you mocked and laughed at, but as the weapon you unknowingly created. A weapon pointed straight at your throat. I remember every word you said, every smirk, every sneer, every moment you thought you had won. Do you? Do you remember the way you celebrated over my broken body? The way you danced on the ruins of my life like vultures picking at carrion? Good. Hold on to those memories. Cling to them. Because when I come for you, and I am coming, you'll need something to remind you why you should be afraid. Why you should beg for mercy. Only problem is, mercy died the day you decided I wasn't worth sparing. You built your kingdoms on my suffering. You carved your thrones from my bones. You whispered my name in hushed tones, thinking it would weaken me further, reduce me to nothing more than a ghost story told in the dark. But ghosts don't bleed. Ghosts don't fight. Ghosts don't rise. I'm not a ghost. I'm alive. More alive than you've ever been. More alive than you'll ever be. And soon, you'll know exactly what that means. When I walk through the ashes of your empire, when I tear down the walls you built to keep people like me out, you'll see just how fragile your power really is. How hollow your victories were. How meaningless your strength has always been compared to mine. Because I didn't build my foundation on sand or lies or stolen glory. Mine was forged in fire, in blood, in sacrifice. And unlike yours, it will never crumble, never fall, never fade. So listen closely. Listen to the sound of my footsteps growing nearer. Feel the weight of my gaze pressing down on you. Know that every breath you take brings you closer to the reckoning you deserve. Closer to the end you've earned. Because this isn't about revenge. This isn't about vengeance. This is about justice. Justice for every scar you gave me. For every dream you crushed. for every piece of me you thought you destroyed. And when it's done, when I've taken everything you stole and made sure you'll never rise again, you'll finally understand the truth. You weren't strong enough to kill me, and now you're too weak to survive me. You think you know fear. You think you felt it before, in the fleeting moments when your grip slipped, when your empire cracked, when someone dared to challenge you. But you've never known true fear. Not until now. Not until me. What you felt then was nothing more than discomfort, a minor inconvenience, a blip in your otherwise perfect existence. But this is different. This is the kind of fear that seeps into your veins, poisons your blood, turns every heartbeat into a countdown to your doom. This is the kind of fear that haunts your dreams, wakes you up gasping for air, leaves you staring into the darkness wondering if I'm already there, watching, waiting, because I am. Always, everywhere, in the shadows where you least expect me, in the silence that follows your laughter, in the emptiness of your stolen throne room when no one else is around to tell you how great you are. I'm there, watching, waiting, planning. And soon, very soon, I'll act. You wanted a monster. You begged for one even if you didn't know it. Every lie you told, every betrayal you justified, every moment you crushed someone beneath your heel to climb higher. You were crafting me, sharpening me, turning me into the thing you feared most, into the nightmare you can't wake up from. And now, here I am, standing in the ruins of your arrogance, looking down at the pathetic remnants of what you once called power. And all I feel is disgust. You thought you ruled me, that you controlled me, that you could dictate my rise and fall like I was nothing more than a pawn in your twisted game. But the game is over now. The board is shattered, the pieces are scattered, and the only move left belongs to me. You'll watch as everything you built collapses under the weight of my return, as your alliances crumble, as your allies abandon you, as your name, once spoken with pride, becomes nothing more than a whisper of regret on the lips of those who once praised you. And when it happens, and it will happen, you'll wish you had stayed small, stayed quiet, stayed hidden, because now you've awakened something you can't control, something you can't escape, something you can't kill. Me. I don't bend. I don't break. I don't stop. Not anymore. You pushed me past the point of return, past the edge of sanity, past the limits of human endurance. And now you'll reap what you sowed. Every wound you inflicted, every betrayal you justified, every moment you laughed while I bled. It all comes back to you now, multiplied, amplified, unstoppable. You'll scream my name in horror, whisper it in desperation, carve it into the walls of your crumbling empire, hoping against hope that somehow, some way, it'll summon salvation. But it won't. There is no salvation for you, no second chances, no mercy. Mercy was the man you destroyed. He's gone, dead, buried beneath the weight of your sins. All that remains is me, the storm, the reckoning, the darkness you can't outrun. Look at you now, kneeling in the ruins of your arrogance, shaking, trembling, staring up at me like I'm some kind of god. Funny, isn't it? You spent years building yourself up, convincing everyone, including yourself, that you were untouchable, invincible, eternal. nothing more than a shadow of what you once were. A cautionary tale etched into the annals of history. A warning to anyone foolish enough to think they can stand against me. But don't worry, you won't be forgotten entirely. Not yet. Your name will live on as a whisper in the dark, a reminder of what happens when you cross the wrong person. When you create something too powerful to control, when you awaken a force beyond comprehension. My name will overshadow yours, eclipse it, until all that's left is the echo of my footsteps and the taste of your failure on the tongues of those who once feared you. Because this isn't just about you. This isn't just about me. This is about sending a message to anyone who dares to doubt me, to challenge me, to stand in my way. I am inevitable. I am unstoppable. I am eternal. And if you think for 1 second that you can rise against me, that you can take what's mine, that you can claim even a fraction of the power I wield, then you're already dead. You just don't know it yet. I didn't come back for revenge. I came back to dominate, to conquer, to rule. And now, as I stand atop the summit you could never truly own, looking down at the ashes of your empire, I feel complete, whole, unshakable. This was always my destiny, always my purpose, always my fate. You were merely obstacles, temporary distractions, challenges meant to sharpen me into what I was always meant to become. And now, as the world moves on without you, as your influence fades, as your legacy becomes nothing more than a footnote in the story of my rise, you'll finally understand the truth. You made me a monster. You crafted your own destruction. And now, you'll live, or rather die, in the shadow of my name forever. This isn't vengeance. This isn't justice. This is inevitability. And as you take your final breath, stare